So, welcome to the garden. It's a sunny day here in Texas. It's nice. It's time to plant our garden and get things going.
We are a family of 5 living on a ranch in Texas.
On our channel, we will cover a variety of topics. These are solely based on our experience and opinions, and we do not hold any degrees in childhood development or education.
So today, we're going to plant the watermelons that we bought, little sapling. And we're going to plant it in this ginormous soil pit that we have.
That we already plants.
We tried to plant watermelons, but they did not grow. So we got babies. We're going to plant them.
Take 2.
Well, actually take 3 because I planted some seeds and they never grew.
Beautiful plants.
Hopefully we'll have some watermelons. These ones are supposed to be heirloom black diamond plants, seedless. So these watermelons on this one, the black diamond ones, it says the fruit can get 30 to 50 pounds. So I bought 3. You really need to plant them like 2 foot apart, but in case one dies, we'll have extra.
And we have a little extra one that we use. Just in
There's
case
the pot I planted the first time.
Just in case they're done both ways.
What?
One of
Oh, the marker, what it is, yeah. So in our pots, we have a mixture of peat moss, no-float mulch, and just regular Miracle-Gro garden soil. Mix it together really good, and you don't have to water as often because the peat moss and the mulch will hold the water in.
And we got some stuff from my mom.
Decorations.
Got decorations. I got Minnie Mouse.
Don't pick them up.
My sister got Mailman, and my brother got Mickey.
We have a little village going on in our watermelon patch. Got it?
And we have a nettle boat, a fairyland house, and a sign, and a bud.
You'll notice this thing that we have in the middle, it's actually could be 3 things. A pH monitor, a light monitor to make sure your plants are getting enough sun. It just has a switch here, and it also has a moisture reading. So right now we have it on the moisture reading on how wet the soil is. You want to keep it about in the middle in the green. The red is too dry, and on this side the blue is too wet. Your plants will actually drown. So we picked those up at Lowe's for about $8 a piece, but they are really good. They are very accurate and very helpful, especially if you live in Texas and you need to know when to water. They're very, very helpful. So these watermelon plants will vine out. I'm hoping that they just circle the pot because the soil is about 6 inches deep. I hope they'll just circle and they'll all grow in the pot and they won't grow out and around the porch. But if they do, that's okay. Next, we're gonna plant the cantaloupe. We have pre-established plants in here. They're just not growing very well. I grew them from a seed out of the bag and I'm not very happy, so we're gonna take those out and replace them with well-established growing cantaloupe. So here we go, ready? Wait, we gotta take these out. So these are the ones that we have. They're just babies. They don't have very many roots and they're kind of wilting. So I'm just gonna pull them up and I'll actually put them in my compost pile. Over there. So I'm just gonna, because there was plants in here and it's rained, I'm just gonna shovel it up a little bit to break up the surface. So the systems, if you look at our garden, we'll talk about that really fast. If you see all the white tubing, the way that we set up our garden beds, underneath this at the very bottom is a perforated drain pipe. So you could get them at Lowe's or Home Depot. It's about $15 for approximately 10 foot. So we cut it the length of our container, whichever container it may be. Cut it that way. This one for the cantaloupe only has 1 pipe. These other blue containers have 2 pipes. So we ran them across the bottom And then we covered them with landscaping fabric that you can also get at Lowe's or Home Depot. We just cut it to size, pushed it down, and you'll see it sticking out the top. And then we put our dirt mix on top. Then you want to make sure that you know which direction your pipe is growing. So our pipes are 4 inches deep. So they come to approximately here. We measured up an inch shy of where the top of the pipe, the width of the pipe. So our pipes are 4 inches, so we measured up 3 inches and put a hole. What that does is gives about an inch room for air to be. This keeps your roots and things air established, but it also keeps them from drowning. Whenever we put the PVC pipe down between the bucket or the container and the landscaping fabric. So when we water, we don't water the whole surface. We just water through the pipe. It fills up our French drain pipe, and then it will expel any extra water. This system is great for when it rains, especially if you have heavy rains frequently. It will keep your plants from drowning. It will just evacuate the extra water, and it will only keep it 3 inches. We're in Texas. We have had rain a couple of days. It's been approximately 70 to 80 degrees since we planted these, and I water them about every other to every third day. So it keeps it established, and if you have something to do or you forget or you just don't have time, you can go a couple of days on this system. So back to the cantaloupes. Okay, so now we're gonna plant cantaloupe. They're heirlooms, Hall's best jumbo cantaloupe. I hope that they taste good. You know, when you go to the grocery store, you don't really know what brand you're getting. You just, oh, that's a good cantaloupe. So these ones need to be planted in full sun for 6+ hours. They need to be spaced approximately 36 to 42 inches apart, and they're gonna go container depth deep. What that means is, if you were to take your container and put your ground level at the top where the soil would be, that's as far as you want to dig it deep. So when I dig it, I dig the whole length of my trowel, or trowel, whatever it's called. It's called a trowel. In construction, it's called a trowel. So I just dig the width of my shovel. And then if you've never planted plants before, what I do is I just take it up, turn it upside down, squeeze the bottom, and mesh it up. So it's gonna look like this. Try not to squish your leaves. It's very compact. It's in the form of, it's very compact when you take it out. But now what you wanna do is aerate it a little bit. All that I do is take it and kind of squish it gently to where the sand is loose or the dirt is loosened up, and I can knock the top off a little bit. So that's as far in the ground as you want to place it. Since I'm gonna put my new soil on top, I kind of knocked the old soil off. So I just set it in. If there's room underneath, if the hole is too deep, just put some extra soil in it. Place it in, cover the root ball in sand, which is the soil that it comes in, and smush it down gently. You don't want to push too hard because then you'll smother the roots. There will be no air room. And that's it. You've got your plants.
And now we're going to move on to
the cucumbers. So now the cucumbers. We're going to be using the Foodie Fresh Bonnie version of cucumber coolers. The thing about the cucumber coolers is they're much sweeter, and they're better if you're going to eat them as a snack. At least that's what the box said that they were on. So these cucumbers need full sun for 6+ hours. Their spacing is a long vine. There is no amount. So you need to make sure that you have a trellis or a tomato cage that they can grow up on and out. These cucumbers, I think, get about 10 inches long, so you need something that's going to sustain the weight of them. These are also going to be container depth. Now, you could take the container and just stick it in the ground to measure to make sure, or you can do it the way that I showed you earlier. Okay, because they're trellising, You want to make sure that you plant them as close to the trellis as you can get it without it falling down, because they're going to look for it to attach to. You can get, I got it at the dollar store. It's twist tie material for your garden. It's basically metal with a coating on it so it doesn't hurt your plants. Once it grows tall enough, you can use that to tie it to your trellis. Just don't get it too tight.
And cantaloupes that we just placed.
There are cantaloupes,
What's from cantaloupes? And these are
cucumbers. You gotta speak loudly and look over here.
and over here are flowers to keep mosquitoes away. And
Those are flowers to attract the bees.
and the bees. And these are the watermelons. We got a lot of here was some more for the bees. And this is our lettuce. The lettuce grows really well, and we ate some lettuce when we just got it. These are our tomatoes. There's some little of these little flowers here, and we got a tomato here, and we got some tomatoes here. So we got some more sunflowers, and we got some more, and
Tomatoes.
these are what?
Tomatoes,
Tomatoes, and over here are
broccoli,
a broccoli, and over here, like my sister loves, is broccoli. Here's some more flowers, and this is bell pepper. These
bell
are strawberries.
peppers.
These are strawberries. Come up here.
And what's that? Is that strawberries?
Yes, these are strawberries, and we got a ton of baby strawberries over here. My mom bought some strawberries, and she decided to put them back and got them in that. This one right here is growing really well.
Yeah.
Here is a sign that our mom made. It has a big sun and a mouth. And over here on the glasses is the dark black glitter. And
Very
this is
good.
the end of the toy.